Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, ladies and gentlemen. Nordin is here. I am an architect and interior designer. I graduated from the Faculty of Architecture in Damascus University, and then I did Master of Science in Building Service Engineering at the International Islamic University in Malaysia. And nowadays I'm working in interior design field. And today I will continue about the series which I started for designing the buildings and specifying the key important points for which need to consider it when we design any type of buildings. In the last video I talk about selecting the project location, and today I will talk about an essential and important topic which is about selecting the designing office for the project. There are some of the factors which we need to think about it before we select the designing office. So in the video I will concentrate about that factors which is before we select the designing office. At the beginning I will start about the experience. One of the significant factor for selecting the designing office is the experience for the designing office, and that experience will be based on the number of the project that the designing office do it. So for example, definitely when we have designing office which has 10 years experience will be better than designing office which is for 2 years experience. So the years of experience will makes the designing office will be appropriate for designing the project. And we can ask also about the previous project that this office built it, and also we can ask about the portfolio for the designing office. And also we can do site visit for the buildings which is already built and see it. This is very important. To feel the space, to see the quality of the work. To feel the space also, is it what's your expectation, which you are looking for, or you are looking for something else. And also you can ask the people who are living in that buildings. You will see what are the positive points and the negative points which they feel about it, and that will be very important for you to have an idea about the designing office. And when you do all the previous point, you will be confident when you selecting the designing office. The second point which I need to talk about it in this video, which is about the type of the project. Based on the type of the project, we can select the designing office. There are some offices which are specialist on some type of buildings. Some of them they are specialist on the residential project, or specialist on the commercial project, or the entertainment project, or service project. So you can ask the designing office if they are specialists on some type of buildings. That will be very useful for you to think and consider the points for selecting the designing office. So if they are specialists at the residential buildings, so go ahead and do your house project with them, do your villa project with them, because they have so many years experience in designing the residential project. After that I will talk about point number 3 for which we need to think about it when we selecting the designing office, which is the scope of the work. The scope of the work consider very important when we need to select the designing office and the designer. because the designing the project, there are so many factors that contribute together to do the success of the project. Like there is the architecture side, and there is the interior design side, the landscape, the structure, and mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for the project, and also the supervision of the work. So you need to know like what you need to do. Is you want like to do only designing the architecture side, or we need to do interior design, or landscape, or mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or we need also the designing office to do supervision for the work. I advise you when you select the designing office, to make them work on all of that, to make them do the architecture, interior, structure, and mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and also the supervision of the work. This is the professional way for designing the buildings. And the fourth point, which I need to talk about it in this video, about the cost and the fee for the designing office. That will be based on the experience for the designer, and will be also on the scope of the work. Like, is it only architecture siding, or we need the designing office to do supervision for the work? So if the scope is more, definitely the fee for the designing office will be higher. Some of the designers, they calculate their fees based on the hours which is spent on the designing and drafting the drawings. Some of them, they will calculate it based on the area of the project. And also, is it a complicated project, which means like, is there so many details in the project, where in that project? So if it's complicated, and there are so many details in the project, then definitely the cost, the fee for the designer and the designing office will be higher. Your project is your investment, so please select a very good designing office for your project, because it's like your investment. If you need to pay more for the fee for the designer, but definitely in the end of the project and in the future, you will earn a lot. After that, I will talk about the good ethics for the designing office. There are some points, like which is very important for when we select the designing office, which is the good ethics for the designing office, like the honesty, the transparency between the client and the designer, and the party who are involved in designing the buildings. So if there are honesty when we deal with the designing office, that will be very good and will be very important, and in the end, that will be a very good factor for the success of the project. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was all I have today about the key important points which we need to think about it before we select the designing office. In the next video, I will talk about the key factors which we need to and the key factor and the procedure which we need to follow it after we select the designing office. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening and for your time, and I really appreciate that, and see you in next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.